guys, hello. So today we are doing a book review, book discussion, book talk thing. Basically, I'm here to tell you why you should read Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This is a new adult contemporary that just came out in May, I believe. It's a debut, and it literally just came out of nowhere into my life, and now it's like the only thing I care about. It's 112% like my favorite book of 2019. I don't see it getting knocked down. It would have to be a really amazing book to like knock this off the top. I just like, words cannot explain to you how much I adore this book. If you don't know what it's about, it follows this like alternate version of Earth where in 2016, instead of our current president winning the election, this random woman, Ellen Claremont, wins. Not Hillary Clinton, Ellen Claremont. She's from Texas, and she and her family invade the White House, and it is just like a great time. And obviously Ellen is a Democrat, and it's just like, it's good escapism because you're like, wow, imagine a world. But it actually doesn't follow Ellen. It follows her son, Alex. Alex is a very interesting character. He is probably a 4 on the Enneagram. He's a lot, but he has a really strong 3-wing. So he's like, he wants to be in Congress. He wants to be like the youngest senator ever. He's very excited about politics. He's currently in college right now. And we come to find out that he is not straight. And it's basically a love story. It's all about his relationship with the Prince of England, Henry, the love of my life. And it basically follows their relationship from being enemies to lovers, which is one of the top tropes, I think, in literature today. It's just, it's stunning. I love it when that happens. So anyways, it follows them and their relationship, and also it follows Ellen as she tries to run for re-election in 2020, and it's just a time. It's a lot, but also it's one of the most beautiful and hilarious books that I've ever read in my life, and I'm still shocked. Like, there are very few books that I read that I have to put them down so much, not because I'm stressed, but because it's like too emotionally beautiful. Like, I had this happen when I read ACOTAR for the first time, and it's this feeling of like giddiness and excitement where you're like, oh my god, these characters are so beautiful, I want to be best friends with them, they're hilarious, but also they say really meaningful things, and also they're falling in love, and like, and like, it's just hard eyes. That's like the feeling of like a really amazing, incredible book, but also it's so much more than that, because like, there's some incredible commentary on politics and America today, and even though it's like this alternate world where Democrats are currently in the White House, it also speaks a lot about like what's coming next in 2020 for us as a country, and how we need to step it up, and we need to vote, and we need to do stuff. It's interesting because if I had read this book like 10 years ago, I probably actually wouldn't have enjoyed it, for a lot of reasons, particularly the political aspect of it, but reading it now, seeing how I've grown since high school, it's very strange, but also like, I'm so happy that I loved it so much, because it really truly is one of the best books that I've ever read. Like, the plot is amazing. The characters are so, they just make me smile and laugh and giggle, and it's great. And the political commentary is just really, really great. So I would highly recommend this book. It's very gay. It is definitely new adult. Alex is 21 for most of the book, and Henry is 23. And there's like a little bit of sexy times. It's not like too bad. I could handle it as an ace person, but also there were a couple times where I skimmed because it was a little bit much. But it's new adult, so I forgive, and it's fine. I love them anyway. But it's really, really great, and I would highly recommend it. And I can't stop talking about it, and I don't know who I am, but I am now Red, White, and Royal Blue trash, just like everyone else, so it's fine. So I guess I'm going to talk about it a little bit more in detail. If you haven't read and you don't want to be spoiled, go read the book and come back. I also don't really know how much I'm going to spoil, but it's basically just going to be me fangirling over Alex and Henry, so it's fine. It's great. All right, cool. I swear, every 2 pages, I just had to stop because it was so beautiful and funny, and this is one of the most quotable books I have ever read. Like, Cassandra Clare books are funny. Sarah J. Maas books are kind of sassy. This book was like my exact level of humor. Like, using cuss words all the time for almost no reason except to be funny is my jam. Like, I Loved it. It was, wow. Anyways. So I picked this book up for book club because my Nashville booktubers were like, we're doing this. And I was like, okay. And also Emily has been telling me to read it, my really good friend. And then my other friend Ethan was like, you have to read this. It's so good. And I was like, fine, I will read it for the gays. So anyway, going into it, I was like, all right, fine. I'll read the gay book. It's probably going to be good, but I don't know how I feel. It's fine. And it turned out after about 50 pages, I understood the hype. I understood why everybody said the things that they said, and I decided that I wanted to die because it was so good. It's a really long book, which was kind of shocking. Like, by the time I got halfway, I was like, oh my god, we still have another half of this book? Like, what is gonna happen? I think Casey said that she wrote this book kind of as a way, like an escape a little bit, to offer some hope and like stuff like that for this like election season. And so as I was reading it, I was like, it's realistic in some ways, but in other ways it's very much like a fairy tale. And I don't think if it had happened in the real world, it would have happened the same way. However, being where we are now, and also like me as a person, I was really happy that we had the happy ending. And I think it wouldn't have been as good if she hadn't done that. Like, there is also like the whole subplot of Richards and how he almost wins the election. Can we talk about that later? We'll come back to that. But the whole plot line of like Richards being exposed and like people coming out a little bit and talking about his sexual predator stuff, like I very much felt parallelism, you know, but it's different because in that version of the world, like, he didn't win, and like we recognize that he is a terrible person, and like the government didn't let that happen. The people didn't let that happen. And so I think for me, if I had read it like it was in the real world, I probably would have been depressed. However, when I read it in this book, I was still a little bit depressed, but more in like a hopeful way of like, okay, well, we can come back from this. Like, we don't have to do that a second time. Like, we can vote. We can really like go hard in this next election season. And I think it was really important too that she did release it in 2019 because we're coming up on another presidential election. And even though I know people are like ready to go, like, we are going to fight this time, it's going to be a bloodbath. I think having more people read this, new adults, young adults, adults in general, I think there will be more people affected by this in the way that they'll be more encouraged to fight, and they'll be more encouraged to work on voting and talking to people about registering to vote and like standing up for people who don't have the opportunity to vote. And so, like, even though it's like a really cute, like, fluffy romance about like two gays who are just like the cutest people in the world, it's also like really vital and important to like the political sphere of America, and also a little bit of England. But I feel like this book is more it's based in America because it follows Alex, who's American, and so I as an American, I feel like it's gonna do more for America than anything else. I said I was gonna come back to Richard, so let's do that right now. He almost won at the end, and I'm not gonna lie, I was having wartime flashbacks last night. I finished it last night before Taylor's song dropped, and I was just like he almost won, and I was like, oh my god, if she does this again, like, I'm having flashback. Is it 2016 again? I cannot handle this. Like, obviously she was gonna end it with a happy ending, but also for a minute there I was like, if he wins, I'm gonna be sad for my man Alex and Henry. Like, it's gonna be a rough time. It was just really interesting because even though she didn't have like our bad person win like the 2016 election, I think it also would have been interesting. It's interesting to see him involved in this next election. It's also interesting, like, just the parallelism of like the emails, the goddamn emails. There's a line, I don't remember who says it, and somebody is like, you really think this election is gonna be based on like an email server? And I just like, oof, me and Casey high-fived in that moment because I was like, bitch, oh, Hillary deserved better. It's fine. It was really hard to read this book sometimes because of that. But then also it was really cute, and like the Democrats did win and Texas went blue, which I don't think will ever happen in our lifetime, but also like, who's to say? I guess it could happen, maybe. I don't know. But at the end of the day, like, even though I was super mad about the Richards character because like it is Donald Trump, it made me want to fight more, and it made me really excited to like have a democracy, and like America is super screwed up right now, in the past, in the future, always. Like, America is always just going to be a mess. But I think we are, like, all of this bad stuff that has happened to us, it's really like changing, I think, how America thinks, how young adults and millennials think. And I know personally, like, I would not have cared about this if 2016 hadn't happened. If we had gotten Hillary as president for the past, like, 3 years, I would have been a very different person. I think a lot of people would be different, and there would be less people fighting for democracy. Granted, it would all be different because, you know, it would be different. But I think it was really, like, I'm looking at it as a good thing for me personally. I know for a lot of people it's not. But for me, and like learning about privilege and learning how to check myself and how to like support other people, I have really changed and learned a lot from 2016. And I still don't really like politics. Like, I hate politics. They're really annoying, and like people are just mean. But I think it's important to like show that there are people out there who are working to help other people and people who need to be helped. And so it was just like it was just really emotional, guys. Like, I couldn't handle it. I was having some flashbacks and freakouts, and it was great. It was a great time. I loved it. So let's talk about Alex and Henry, because I'm upset. Like, I just can't get over how much I love them. First things first, can I just say, I don't know if you know this about me. I have a really good friend, Emily. She is Emily Generic on Twitter, and she and I hang out all the time. We live in the same city. She basically stalked me when I was in college. Kind of, not really. But we became friends when I was in college, and she ended up coming to the same school that I went to, and we're like BFFs. Like, we're the dream team, honestly. But we have found this thing where in any given situation, any iconic duo, it's always both of us. Kale and Dorian from Throne of Glass, me and Emily. Cassian and Nesta from ACOTAR, me and Emily. Schmidt and Nick from New Girl, me and Emily. Alex and Henry, me and Emily. Like, it's really upsetting. It's not upsetting. It's just, it always feels like a call out for us, because these people, authors, writers, whatever, they don't know us personally, and yet somehow we are always the iconic duo. And so it's kind of upsetting that we're not attracted to each other in that way, because like we could be a power couple, but also I'm really glad we're not a power couple, because that would just be a lot. But anyways, I'm saying that because Alex and Henry is literally me and Emily. I don't know if you know Emily. You probably do if you know me. She is just like a lot. She's a chaotic four. She's really, really sweet. She supports me in ways that other people will never understand. She always asks me about my life. She always wants to know more about me. She's very supportive of me. She's kind of ridiculously crazy. She makes me curse more. I have flipped her off more than I've flipped off anyone in my entire life, because I think she's the only person I flipped off. Like, I get so mad at her, but also like I can't help but love her because she's a wonderful person. And that's Alex and Henry. It was just really upsetting to read, because I am actually Henry. It was cool because we were reading from Alex's point of view, so I was like, oh, so this is what it's like to be Emily. But also, like, anytime Henry did anything, I was like, oh shit, that's me, man. Like, I don't like that at all. I think Henry is a type 5 with a 6 wing on the Enneagram, if that helps you. I don't think he's a 4 wing because we're close, but we're not like that close. But he has scenes where like he withdraws and like he ghosts Alex, and like there's just so many things that every time I read it, I was like, oh God, I really am Henry, huh? They're just really, really cute, and they care so much about each other, and they're also really nerdy, and they hated each other, and then they loved each other, and like okay, here's my one complaint, and I will stand by this. I absolutely hate the writing style. And I think this is more personal preference than anything. Like, she wrote it fine, and by the end I was used to it, so it wasn't a big deal. But literally when I started it out, I just like was so sidetracked by the freaking writing style. I don't know what it is about third person present. I don't know. I don't know if I've read a third person present book before, actually, now that I think about it. And I don't know if it's just her particular writing style or what, but for some reason, it was really throwing me off, that third person present. I was like, what? I don't know. It was really, really weird to read, and like I couldn't adjust to it very well. And so by the end, like, I don't know. It was not my favorite writing style. Here's the thing. I like her writing, and I like her commentary and her curse words and like her characterization. Like, I liked her writing, but like the actual like third person present writing style, like that perspective, it just did not click with my brain. And so that is like literally my only complaint. Everything else about it I think is really well done. I think the plot was really great. The pacing was really good, even though it was kind of long. But I like long books, so I can't complain about that. The characters were amazing. The world building of like this alternate world was really great. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. We can talk about politics. We can talk about the gays. We can talk about Alex and Henry. We can talk about me and Emily. I don't know. Talk about what you want to talk about in the comments. But I really just want to gush about this book because it's like my favorite book of the year. So anyways, in conclusion, Emily was right. Ethan was also right. And I love the gays. So happy Pride Month. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!